You won't jump further by lifting heavier and heavier weights. In this video, I'm going to look at specific jump conditioning options. The exercises have a varying degree of positive transfer. What do I mean by positive transfer? Well, the exercise has a relationship to the outcome to produce greater power, greater force in a way that is designed to improve, for example, the long jump. I have a bit of a reputation as a coach who doesn't like weight training. That's not the case. We do quite a lot of specific weight training. It's triphasic, covering isometric, concentric and eccentric actions, and those weight sessions include very specific exercises as well as some more general ones. Indeed, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the majority of weight training exercises are indeed limited in terms of their transference to jumping performance. It's how, as I've said earlier, how you combine them into your training programs and the emphasis you place on them, which is going to get the results or not. We have to start from the premise that actual sprinting and jumping is 100% in terms of transfer, i.e. you sprint and you'll get faster. If you lift weights, for example, by doing a squat, that transference is way back down the line. Whether or not it actually will improve your jump and sprint performance is a bit of a moot point. Many elite coaches don't actually believe that weight training has a direct transference into performance. It has a foundational benefit, and it's something that we often do, but we don't understand fully why we do it. That's why many years back I decided to strip back to the key elements that will improve jump and sprint performance, and therefore I emphasize speed and technique and lots of drills which are designed to directly transfer into improving performance. Our weight training sits further back. I tend not to overemphasize concentric weight training exercises, as when you get to a certain level, the chances are that you will have already developed a high level of concentric strength. Therefore, trying to get stronger by squatting more, for example, or deadlifting more is probably going to have limited transfer into your actual jump performance. Hence, we will try to create greater stiffness on the takeoff, for example, in the long jump by doing more eccentric and isometric work. And you're seeing some of those exercises on screen now. They can be both weights and plyometrically orientated. In overview, I try to select plyometric exercises that work across all the muscle groups involved in triple extension, sometimes singling out a specific muscle group. So we will do straighter leg work for the ankles and hip, for example. We will also do some work that targets the hamstrings via plyometric hamstring jumps. I will just add at this juncture that we are also doing our deceleration work, i.e. the downhill running. I say deceleration because you're getting a little braking effect every time you perform a skipping drill, for example, or a takeoff drill down a hill, a gradient. And that is going to improve your eccentric capacity and the ability to go vertical off of the board. We're also doing the assisted plyometrics using bands which reduce the contact time but increase or at least enable similar power outputs to be developed through the concentric phase. We've also introduced a number of drills which I call power plyometrics, and I'll make a video that goes into more detail about those, but you're seeing them on the screen now. Basically, the contact time is reduced because you're holding a medicine ball and attempting to throw it after 2 hops, for example. Therefore, I'm seeing that in a similar way to how a squat, for example, would transfer into improved performance. In fact, I suggest that the power plyometrics have a greater transference in that they're more ballistic. Drop jumps are a staple inclusion in my training, and we do those 2 to 3 times a week in various quantities, and we will vary the height from which the athletes drop from. Now, these are going to develop greater leg stiffness and reactivity. We also do loaded jump squats as well. Now again, I compare those to heavy load squatting. However, I believe that the jump squats are superior. As mentioned earlier, we also do various muscular action exercises. So we do isometrics, for example, body weight ones as you're seeing calf presses whereby the guys are pressing against the wall for a designated time period. Isometrics have been shown to improve tendon and joint health, for example, as well as having benefits in terms of developing greater leg stiffness. We also do what I call blocking jumps, whereby you spot the landing when doing a drop jump, for example. So there's going to be a millisecond or so of isometric muscular action and a lot of eccentric muscular action as the muscles at the hip, knee and ankle go on stretch to absorb and block the movement. That block is crucial, as I've said, in terms of being able to impart greater force quickly on the long jump takeoff or when transitioning out of the phases for the triple jump. Not all jumpers and sprinters are able to express power in the same way. Therefore, you as a coach, or indeed yourself as an athlete, has to work out which exercises are going to be most beneficial to you. Therefore, if for example you're a triple jumper and good at bounding, then potentially that is going to be your strongest suit, somewhat obviously. A long jumper, by contrast, may be very good at one-off, one-contact reactive activity and therefore may not benefit to the same extent from doing bounding drills. It's not always the case that all plyometrics are relevant to you as a jumper. I just wanted to get across in this video the concept of specificity and training transfer, and about selecting the best exercises for you as an athlete, or if you're a coach for your athletes, to think about the muscular actions involved, to think about the movements that are involved, to think about the contact times and the explosiveness of each particular exercise, and also how they are going to affect the technical application of the jumper, and also to make sure that they're not going to detrimentally affect the technical application or indeed the rate of force production of the jumper. If you were to train too much in a specific way, and I often refer to weight training in that respect, you're actually going to potentially slow yourself down and reduce the ability to express force. Also, do consider that you do need to condition to avoid injury, and that's where weights and isometrics, body weight isometrics for example, do come into play. Hopefully this overview will give you an idea of how to utilize jumping exercises and weight training exercises to get the most from your training. If you have any specific questions on the subject matter of this particular video, or indeed any of my other ones, then do leave a comment in the section below or through my other social media. And do consider helping me help you become a better coach or athlete by considering to become a channel member. At channel supporter level, you do just that. For as little as $1.99, £1.99 a month, you can help me produce the type of content that's hopefully helping you become a better athlete or coach. And if you do want to go into more detail, learn more about training programming, planning, coaching philosophies, then do consider becoming a coach athlete member.